I finally won this inner battle. I finally overcame my fear of judgment. I overcame my fear of judgment. I was afraid of what people might think. And why is this important? And why did this hit me? Why am I so happy about this? Well, here's my truth. I've been working on noticing when I feel this fear of judgment. And I've been working on naming the fear for what it is. What am I exactly afraid of right now in this moment? So I was in this moment where I felt a lot of pressure. I had something to say. I had something to share. And I was in front of this person and I felt the fear of judgment coming up. I felt it. It started coming up and I started doubting. I started thinking about maybe I shouldn't put this out there. Maybe I shouldn't share this. Maybe this isn't the right moment. And I've got all these stories and inner battles that are going on in my mind in just a few seconds while I'm talking to this person. I remembered what I practiced, so I paused. I remembered, and in that moment I was thinking about, you worked on this. You practiced this. And this is the moment where you have to name your fear of judgment. So I did that. I said, okay, what is going on right now? And what am I afraid of? And I put a name on it, and I put a tag on it. Told myself in that moment, you are afraid of what this person is going to think of you if you make that statement. If you say that following thing, you're afraid of what that person is going to think and make of you. That's what you're afraid of. And I said, okay, that's what I'm afraid of right now. And now I have to take a different turn. I have to do something about this. And I have to choose consciously instead of walking away and folding and not put my truth out. So I said, I'm going to do it. I put out my truth. And I did it, and I said what I had to say in my mind. And the actual thing that I want to say is not that big of a deal, not at all, but it feels heavy. What I'm trying now is to pause more often when I feel like I have something to say. I'm going to pause before I answer when I feel like, okay, this is something I shouldn't go over in a light way. This is something where I have to pause and allow myself to not have this auto answer, this auto protective mode where I'm just like, I should not say this, but I just put it out there. But here's where things get difficult. Here's where things usually go wrong. And here's where I usually mess up. I would not think, I would not pause at all. I would just automatically react. I would automatically say something. Or if I pause for too long and I overthink the entire situation, I just end up not doing what I said I was going to do. I end up not going back to what I practiced that I wanted to do to be my truth and put out my truth. I just simply have to continue to practice this until it becomes a second nature, until it becomes something that I just do automatically when I feel like, okay, this is something important to me and truthful to me, trying to be truthful, but it's a message where I feel like I might be judged in a certain way and I'm too conscious of it. I just have to come back to fall back to what I've practiced, and that's why I have to continue to practice. If you are a human being just like me, and from time to time you slip up and you have these moments where you feel a little bit weak and things don't go exactly the way you want, it's okay. So try this with me. Let's just notice the last moment where you felt like you had something you wanted to put out. You wanted to put out your truth. You wanted to talk. You wanted to say something. You wanted to be something truthful to yourself, and you couldn't put it out. Just notice this moment. Just think about it. And now we're going to move on. So I'm going to continue to work on this, and I'm also going to start tomorrow working on speaking honestly under pressure, because that's when things usually go wrong, and that's the most difficult part, but I'm going to be working on this. That's what we do here in the Empowered Living Club. We face life with truth and courage. We figure out how to win the hardest inner battles, and this one is definitely super hard, and we share the exact tools so you can win yours. Live truthfully and live courageously. I'm doing this so you can do this too. My name is Chris Kasonga. Keep living an empowered life.